Hey, Matt Elbig. Happy Friday, my man.
What's up, Matthew Smith? How's your Friday going?
Fantastic, dude. It's beautiful here in Greenville, South Carolina. How's Chicago?
Pretty good. Pretty chill. Summertime shy is in full effect.
Cool. Well, today, man, I thought I'd take you into one of my favorite products, Clean My Mac. Not sponsored or anything. Unless they want to.
We've met this team before, I think, at a Litmus conference, so...
Oh, are you serious? Sweet.
Yeah, they're good people.
Yeah, well, the product is badass. I use it to keep my Mac up to shape. I really enjoy it. I use it for my whole family. But it turns out their emails are pretty good, too. So one of the things that I like is that they're using some, fantastic imagery and some pretty simple techniques in terms of layout and some things like that. But they do it really well. So like right up at the top, and it just gets my eye. You can see on both versions, they're moving away from, open in browser in the mobile view. And of course, this would be similar like in your email client, not in a browser probably. But, I just think they've done a nice job of making that aesthetically interesting. And you can see they crop it differently in mobile. And it's just a smart way to handle that space. So I think that's working out really well.
I'm seeing that they left align the text on mobile.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why that is, or if that was intended. It's a little bit odd. I noticed that as well. It just kind of caught me off guard. But they did do some nice stuff here with like cropping this image. And one of the things that's nice on both these is that this angle here draws my eye right into this image. And I think that's working fantastically. And this, Learn More CTA is nice, big, bright, clear. I know what to do. So I like that. And then as I move down the email, I get to, have a preview of this new feature in Clean My Mac. And I think they did a great job of just making that clear, making it really succinct, showing me what's going on. And then actually laying out these icons, that correlate to what's going on in the app as well, and telling me what it does and give me an option again to learn more. So maybe it wasn't enough information up top. Now I scroll a little bit further down and that's my option to jump in. There's some really fantastic things down here that I love this release history, being able to see, okay, yeah, I want to see what's been happening in the product. I think that's fantastic as a way to keep people excited and involved and show them that the product is updating and it's not stale. That's pretty neat. And then my favorite is, was this email interesting? I think that's a fantastic way to get people's sense of did this do the trick for you, or was it okay, or was it fantastic, or did it suck? That's real interesting. I've not seen somebody use this specific technique related to email instead of something like customer service. What do you think of that?
I've seen some people do this before. I've sent some emails with some survey links that, how is this email? And it had maybe 4 or 5 different options. But using icons is definitely an interesting way to do this. Be interested to see, what kind of feedback they get. This transition is super clean. I think it's almost transitioning into this gradient. I think we've seen a lot of gradients actually, rather than these solid colors of it kind of going down the email.
Looks great.
They're pulling in a lot of UI elements from the actual app itself into this email, which makes it feel very recognizable and comfortable. And even though these icon stacking on the left maybe don't look the best on mobile, but I still think it's nice that they did that, at least to make that text readable.
Yeah, so that's something that I would probably change. I think the desktop version definitely feels like it got the attention. So what I would change over here would be to take this and make this centered text, or make the heading left aligned so that it's consistent. But switching between those doesn't work. And the leading here, which is the line height, it works better on desktop, and then it feels a little off here in mobile. And I think I would probably, move that to either a slightly smaller text with the same leading, or keep that same size, but open it up a little bit.
So you're saying it feels a little cramped?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And the imagery here is good. I think that this could be a little bit larger. If possible. I think it's actually the same sort of relative proportion, but here on mobile, you just don't see as much, so that's a small niggle, but I think that could be improved. But the main thing here for me is these could have been left aligned just as they are over here on the desktop, and that would have read much more clearly. And if not being left aligned, then they would need to center align the copy, since the icons are center aligned. So, centering those, keeping that consistent, it's just going to help with scannability so much more. And this is actually a good example too. The relationship between this text and then this icon and then this text, they're the same. So it almost reads like icon text, rather than icon text as a group. Icon text as a group. And so you always need to make sure that, they've done it much better over here on the desktop, where there's enough space here to give your brain that sense of, okay, this is a group and now this next one is a group. When doing vertical stacking like this, it's super important to make sure you've got enough bottom padding to create that relationship.
I think it's the balance between, taking that desktop version and not trying to totally recode a different mobile email and then trying to, I guess, work with what you have. So I wonder if that was it, or if it's more just one of those things where consistency-wise, you just couldn't get the icon left with the text, or there wasn't enough text length or something like that. But I think the bullet list is the right approach. So I guess that might be something where they might decide that, hey, we have to do an image for these icons because it's too hard for us to do. Yeah, I think it's a tricky thing to keep it live text, but then also have the perfect mobile experience. Or, try to do maybe mobile first, but maybe with this audience, as it is a Mac app, they chose desktop to be the number one content.
Yeah, sure. That's a good point. Well, I'm curious what you think about this managed subscriptions versus unsubscribe. How often do you see that, and when do you think that's appropriate?
I think with the managed subscription, I feel like unsubscribe can sometimes mean instant unsubscribe, and that might not be what they want to do. If you have multiple email preference centers, maybe you just want to land on managed subscriptions, but I like the one-touch unsubscribe if you just want to opt out of the single communication, because landing people on the managed subscriptions site for unsubscribing and they have to uncheck 10 different boxes to unsubscribe from everything is a kind of a dark pattern or bad UI choice anyways. So
right.
I would say like a lot of brands, I think, use the word unsubscribe because people know what it looked like. People can kind of catch it. When people bury it and say, managed subscription in a big legal text, then it gets kind of hard to find, and they don't like add highlights or anything like on that. So that's another thing that maybe these could be highlighted to make sure that they look like they're clickable.
The one improvement would be to make them underlines or something to that effect, just to make it really clear. The white definitely does set them apart. So I think that helps. I had an email from Hyatt earlier today, and it didn't even give me the option to unsubscribe. I had to manage subscription. So I do appreciate that they have both here. I think that's really helpful. And I like that they have their privacy policy linked instead of like dumping a bunch of crummy legal. So good job, MacPaw. Yep, good email. Really appreciate this. So any other thoughts, Matt?
Just like the difference between that Learn More CTA, which is like they're saying it twice. That's the only really big call to action in this email. They change the formatting on that check all updates because it's less important. Plain text with an arrow CTA on the release history section.
Yeah.
That whole section though, I think just is really nice. It looks like a card. It's kind of like that little rounded edges. It kind of pops out. So it's definitely below the fold as a less important message, and they kind of it reflects that with that CTA being a little different than Learn More.
Yep, I like that too. I wonder if the Learn More here could have been more explicit, or if Learn More instead here could be see this feature in action. And if Learn More here could be review all the specs of the feature or something like that, to be able to test some different language that I'm assuming the Learn More goes to the same link. Could be that testing some different language would be useful there.
I do appreciate them taking the time to put this together because it is a little bit better than just a plain text email, like, letting you know which things are updated. If you don't want to really learn more, you can probably glance at this and kind of get the gist of what has happened to the app. And when you open the app next time, you'll probably not be too surprised that there might be changes. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's right. All right, my man. What you gonna do this evening?
I don't know. Probably some Lake Michigan stuff. We'll see if that works out.
Nice, man. Nice. Go and have some fun, bud.
Yeah, happy Friday.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
If you have any feedback on the series, please leave a comment down below. Hit subscribe to keep up with future episodes. Thank you for giving a listen and letting our sponsors know you love really good emails.